In these trying times, it's very important to stay safe. And that's why we're looking at the OSHA subreddit. It's a true beacon of safety in our community. Brought to you by the like button and also my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/CaptainSparkles, where, depending upon what time you're watching this, I could be live right now with things such as Minecraft, but you ruined my life. Link in the description. Check it out if you want to. Let's start off with number 19. Who needs a longer ladder when you have friends? Yeah, see, the problem here is I don't have any friends. So I just have to risk it and hope that the ladder doesn't slip out. But also, the friends don't seem to be of much help here. They're just smiling at the camera. This could have gone a totally different way. This could be them smiling at the camera as the dude up here is just free falling to the ground. I'm glad it's not that. I felt edgy enough the other day when I borrowed a neighbor's ladder to try to change a light fixture. It wasn't a super tall ladder, so I had to stand on the tippy top step. And you're not supposed to do that. They have the clear warning up there. Do not stand here. This is for your equipment only so you can reach it. And I'm like, well, I'm not tall, so what do you want from me? If they tuck and roll the landing, I'm sure they'll be fine. Is this building sinking? I feel like this is deceptive photography. It's like if you've ever seen a photo of San Francisco where they just tilt the photo so that the sidewalk seems level and the buildings are all tilted to the side. I'm sure that's what's going on here, but it really looks like they're in trouble. This building is pulling a Titanic and they're just trying to stay on as long as possible before it pulls them underneath the Earth's crust to in millions of years become diamonds. Hey man, I guess there are worse things that you could become over time. You already know he was scooting along too while on the bucket. Also, job site exposed to blank and still open. I'm not gonna lie, before I was able to borrow the neighbor's ladder, I was doing all sorts of jerry-rigging with things, trying to figure out how I could reach the light fixture. I have a bunch of bar stools, and they have a flat top. And in order to access the ceiling lights in this room before, I've put 4 of them next to each other, and then I put one on top with a leg resting on each of the top of the other stool surfaces. I think I took a photo of it actually once for Twitter or Instagram or something. I was like, this is safety. And it worked, you know? So sometimes you gotta improvise. And hey, if I still couldn't have reached the light when I was standing on the top of the ladder, maybe I would have grabbed a few books, stood on those. I'm sure it would have worked out just fine. You just need a little bit of extra reach sometimes, and God, he was actually scooting. Rather than getting off the bucket, just, you know, I'll stand on it. I could just scoot it over. I've got acrobatics. There must have been a printing error. 2,600 kilograms total shelf capacity. Surely if we just add an extra number there scribbled with Sharpie, no one will realize that it doesn't actually have the ability to hold it here. Did you know that metal is actually really adaptive? It can read the numbers that are written on it, and it'll be like, oh, I'm supposed to be a lot tougher now. Okay, it's time for me to gear up, dude. It's sentient metal, and it knows when it has to hold a heavier load. You just have to tell it by writing on it. It's pretty impressive stuff. This could have actually held the delivery of dumbbells that I got the other day. I got dumbbells delivered because obviously the gym's been closed, so I just was like, I don't care, I don't need a living room anymore. I'm turning it into a gym. And I ordered 5 to 100 dumbbells. And they came in a pallet. I didn't expect this. The truck comes, and I'm like, that's what, okay. And it's like, the truck has a lift gate on it, but this lift gate doesn't look like it's equipped to hold over 2,000 pounds. That's how much this pallet weighed. And the dude asked, like, can you help me? And I'm like, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna actually die doing this. The lift gate's gonna collapse. This pallet is gonna fall on me, because I had to get up there and help, like, not have the pallet slip off because it was slightly inclined on the street. I'm like, this is it. It's all over. And the relief that I felt when that lift gate was able to hold, it was, if we're turning it into kilos here, 1,130 kilos approximately. I was like, that's the weight of light cars. This lift gate isn't gonna work. Oh, what a relief. Oh, what a relief it was. The truck suspension, when we finally hit ground on the lift gate, was like, whoop. Deep breaths. You know what? They must have written on the lift gate beforehand that it would carry 1,130 kilos, and then it went up to the task and it performed admirably. Lanyard is just long enough for it to catch you after you hit the ground. Hey, yeah, that doesn't seem super useful, I'm gonna be honest with you. Isn't the whole point of a safety rope so that you get caught in advance? This reminds me of when I was a kid and I was over at a friend's house. I think I've told this story before. I can't remember if it was on this channel, but there was, for some reason, just a needle laying in his backyard or something, and so I jumped off of like a little wall on the deck onto the lawn and did a little roll out of it, because it's probably like a 4 or 5 foot drop or something, and I feel a little pinch in my back. I'm like, what the heck happened? That's weird. I must have hit something. That's not normal. And then I walk over to my friend. I'm like, is my back looking okay? He's like, there's a needle sticking out of your back. I'm like, oh, that's great. And we go inside. You just pull the needle out. And then his mom comes in and is like, what happened? And he's like, oh, there's a needle in his back that he got from rolling in the yard. And my friend goes, don't worry, I've sterilized it. I'm like, wait, you sterilized it after you pulled it out of my back? What good did that do? Are you going to retroactively prevent any infections that might have gone inside me by sterilizing it, by holding it over your stove after the fact? I was just like, I was baffled. But anyway, that reminds me of this lanyard. It's just like, hey, don't worry, guys. The lanyard held up after he already smashed the ground. The rope didn't break. It's very impressive. Cart surfing employee keeping his customers safe from blank using a garden sprayer. I mean, I can't think of any other way you might reach the middle carts there. Nope, can't think of it at all. You know, standing next to them, maybe like right along here or right along there, or just putting the carts in a different spot. No other options. Can't think of them at all. I mean, I guess it's I guess if he walks backwards and he's spraying what he's already stepped on and not stepping on what he's already sprayed, then it might, I don't know. At the end of the day, like, your best course of action is just, if you do touch things that are in public, try to wash your hands before you touch any other part of yourself. So, I mean, ultimately, you should just consider everything you touch dirty. And it's like, guess what can you do? A chain is only as strong as its weakest link. Is that just, like, cool? That's just like the little chain necklace thing. It looks like it might hold like dog tags or something like that. Just totally looks very strong. Yes. Absolutely made for holding a very, very heavy gas tank. Nice. The loaders at our distribution center are so considerate. What IDGAF looks like? Hey, that looks very similar to the pallet that my dumbbells came in. Actually, you know what? I wonder if I can get the footage, because I had someone helping me with just, once the dumbbells were offloaded, getting them into the room where the gym is. And I wonder if I can get the footage and just show it, because it's so sketchy looking coming down the thing. It's just a big pallet, but it was a big plywood crate rather than a bunch of individual boxes. But yeah, you know, not much more stable than this, probably. I'm sure it's fine. Yep, doesn't look expired at all. Surely this rusty fire extinguisher is still working. I mean, I guess you could just brush off the dial here and it would still show if it has pressure, right? I mean, technically, you could have a brand new fire extinguisher and maybe this is on a movie set and it's supposed to look dirty and they purposefully made it this way. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and say that this is on like a zombie movie set and this is a brand new, perfectly functional fire extinguisher. No issues at all. And it would work admirably if needed. Saw this monstrosity today on site holding up a 40-foot container full of equipment. It's just extreme Jenga. You see what's going to happen later on is all the workers are going to come over here and they're going to start pulling out the 2x4s, and whoever collapses the entire thing loses. Just very, very high stakes Jenga, where when you lose, you cause many tens of thousands of dollars in damages. Quick disconnect for ease of use. This guy knows his crayon flavors. I'm not sure the caption on there, but that, oh god, dude. Oh god, that does not look good. Ooh, imagine that thing just slipping out right there. that would not be a good thing to have just come loose with people under it, probably trying to, keep the whole thing together. Hopefully somebody noticed that before they tried to pick the thing up, or maybe they were just like, you know what? These are expensive to replace, so we'll just keep moving with it. Surely it's fine. Do not touch the electronic shelf support. Really? You plugged in like a wall timer or something, and that's what you're using to mount the shelf? A shelf full of gold at that. All right, you know how heavy gold is? Gold is extremely heavy, dude. I once saw a show that everything you see on TV is obviously accurate, that said, if there's anyone who can actually lift up one-handed from it being rested on a table, a gold bar, they get to keep it. That's how heavy gold is and how awkwardly shaped gold bars are as well. But that's, oh my God, dude. Just imagine if that shelf collapses and those fall into the toilet, you have lost gold. Look at that stock. This is Fort Knox. Batteries needed more water. Oh God, how do you even get that out of there? That's rough. Oh, dude, that sucks so much. You have to drain the pool to get it out? No, actually, it's not quite as heavy to pull out if it's in the water, so... Oh, no matter what, that's gonna like ruin one side of the pool, isn't it? Oh, what do you do? What do you do in that situation? That's gotta be so much heavier than just like pulling out a regular car. And it's probably quite broken at that stage. Somebody got fired. Log lift, Oregon, 1973. Are they actually like pulleying the log while it's floating high above the ground there? This is actually what ski lifts used to look like before they were modernized and high-speed detachable, is that you just had to get on these and you'd be wearing your skis and you'd be pulleying yourself up the hill. And they just used a really big log so that it wouldn't be quite as wavy in the wind. It would have just, it would move more slowly, more gradually, wouldn't flail all over the place. So, they're just testing out the installation of a ski lift here. Pretty soon, there will be skiers going down there, riding up this lift. You get a great workout going back up the mountain so that you basically just collapse and slide down the whole thing once you get to the top. One of my guys sent me this today. I mean, physics is on their side, unless somebody forgets that they're supporting the whole thing and that walks away, gets a phone call, is like, hold on, gotta take, oh shoot. Now I remember why I was standing there. But I mean, it's not, honestly, it's two people standing there with way more leverage, because way back here, and this guy's just kind of off the edge. If it works, right? The fall's probably not too bad. That's just over a few stairs right there. I doubt that there's just a door that opens up and just drops off to the floor below. Could be worse. Also, it just looks like, what you gotta wear to spray paint safely is also probably pretty safe for workplace safety gear in today's current environment. So you're knocking out two birds. After all my years working construction, I have given out my Darwin Award. I think for a Darwin Award to be given out, though, they actually have to unalive. So I'm hoping it didn't go that way. I've seen a bunch of karate videos, and they're like, that's just child's play, dude. We gotta raise the stakes a little bit. Come over here. Use your gigantic electric saw while I just hold this thing. There's no way that this could go wrong. If they can karate chop, well, we've been using these saws for ages. I'm sure we'll be just fine. At least he's wearing a high visibility vest, all right? At least his friend knows exactly where the thing they're cutting ends and his body begins. It'd be very high contrast in the event of a lot of red happening, which hopefully didn't. Why would you do that? See, what happens when it actually cuts through? Then that thing is gonna quickly collapse through, and then inevitably the guy with the saw is gonna like dart forward a little bit because he's gonna be putting pressure onto that and it's gonna give, and then it's like, how do you think that's gonna end up? Couldn't you just use the cinder blocks down there and put it across that? And like, why do it that way? Why? There's no reason. Faint wheelchair noises in the background. Oh, you see, this picture is just taken in the future. You see, he's installing his new Bionic Limb. All right? He's just putting in a new upgraded joint. You see, that's a very, very smooth ball bearing system right there. It's gonna just, it's gonna be such a a good movement after he's done installing it. Of all the places you could just, you have floor. You have floor everywhere. You have this. You could do it on top of whatever that is. Why did you determine of everything around you, the thing of least value to drill into if you overshoot is you? The crap that happens on my job site. Did someone just park something in front of the porta potty? See, I feel like this was probably done on purpose. This has got to be some form of hazing, right? Like they did this as a joke. What do you do in that situation? Hopefully you have service in your porta potty. Otherwise, they definitely knew what they were doing. 100% they knew what they were doing. Like, it'd be funny if we locked Johnny in the porta potty and he can't get out. We'll let him sit out his lunch break in there, dude. That's what he gets coming on the job site thinking he's the boss of us on day one. We'll show him who's boss. Okay, that's it for the last month of OSHA. Make sure you stay safe out there, and make sure you like. If you like, check out the playlist if you want to catch more of the subreddit. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. And once again, twitch.tv/CaptainSparkles for things like Minecraft, but you ruined my life. See you next time.